So I want to go over our group project again and go through the details, the due dates, and what's expected for this group project as we wrap up this semester. So as we recall our overview for this project, we were going to form our groups. So we've already done this. You've already formed your groups, turned them in via Blackboard assignment of 4 to 5 people a little over a month ago. So you guys have those groups, you've been working on your project. So within this project, you needed to pick a practical application. Again, this could have been from anything we did from the semester, similar to a project you've seen in the book, lectures, exams, but do not copy it, make up your own. So from there, what you want to do as you're creating your problem was to have a diagram illustrating the problem, and then write out a problem statement that tells what's going on in the problem and provides whoever else is solving your problem with all the necessary information in order to solve that problem. Then what you're going to do is part 2 of the assignment that's due this week within Module 12 is go through and solve your problem. So you're going to turn in the problem that you created and your solution to that problem there. And this is how we're going to be grading this. The rubric for this is going to be based upon, did you clearly label what you're doing each step along the way as you provide us with your solution? Is everything neat and organized? Did you show all the general equations? Did you explain your thought process and how you're going to solve each step of the way and write that out specifically? Did you clearly define and label your chosen coordinate system? Did you draw out your free body diagrams if necessary? And did you use the correct units? So this project will be graded and count towards your group project section for your grade. So both the creation of the problem and the solution to the problem will be evaluated. And there's a rubric that's assigned with both the creation of the problem and as well as the solution to the problem on Blackboard. So deliverables. So again, this week within your Module 12, you're going to turn in your problem and your solution, and those are going to be turned in through Blackboard through an assignment section. Then from there, the next step is going to be grading the other group's solution to your problem. So that will be within Module 13. And you're going to grade them upon that 10-point grading scale that we've used for your homeworks and your exams. And last, we're going to go over the presentation for your solution. So this is where you're going to record a video going through your solution step by step and explaining your thought process, relating it back to the textbook, relating it back to governing equations, just like you see in my lecture videos each week. So break this group project down into a couple different steps. Step 1, you've already completed this. You formed your group a little over a month ago, 4 to 5 people per group. You put in the name of your group and each of the group members. So you've already done this. This is completed. And hopefully you've been working hard on creating your problems and your solutions since you formed your group. So the second step was to create your problem. So that's what you're doing again, and you're turning in this week here. You create the problem, again, something similar to you've seen in the book, lectures and exams, but not one that you've copied, something you've made up on your own. So that'll be part of your grade, is did you actually make this up on your own? It's not something you took from somewhere else. Within this, you're going to have a diagram illustrating the problem, like we see down below here. And then you're also going to write out a problem statement that tells what's going on in the problem and provides the people solving, the other group solving your problem with all the necessary information they need in order to come up with a solution. So this here is your problem statement. So again, you want to have not only the diagram you see over to the left, but you're also going to want to have a problem statement that covers all that information they need to solve the problem. So then we move on to our step 3. This is where you go through and actually solve out your problem. So again, this is another portion that's due this week within our Module 12, is you're going through and solving out your problem here. Within this, these are all parts of the grading rubric that you're going to need to follow there. So each of these that I mentioned before, you clearly label what you're doing each step along the way. Everything's neat and organized, easy to follow. You're showing all the general equations that you're utilizing in your solution. You explain your thought process and how you're solving each step of the problem. You clearly define and label your chosen coordinate system, and you draw any free body diagrams or diagrams you need along the way, and you use the correct units. So here we can see within the solution right here, you've clearly labeled, okay, these are all the givens. Here's my coordinate system. Here's relating back to the diagram that I've redrawn. Here's what I'm searching for. And here's all the information with the correct units and labeling as well. From there, you be in your solution. I see I clearly labeled, this is my solution. Now I talk about it each step along the way. Spell this out. First, I'm considering ball A. So ball A has this information right here. The ball A starts from rest. So because it starts from rest, I have this relationship here. I recall the kinematic relation. So here's my governing equation that I'm using to solve this. Then I say what I'm doing. I'm plugging in my known values into my governing equation. I take each step along the way as I'm going through the solution and break it down before I come up with the final solution that I'm looking for this part of the problem. Then I do again, there's two parts of the problem. I do the same thing. I say what I'm doing, write down all my variables, all the given information I have, discuss exactly what I'm doing each way along the way, have my general equation there, plug in, go step by step, even as I reduce and simplify all the way down, and I've clearly highlighted or boxed in my final solution. It's nice, neat, easy to follow. Now, you don't have to type out your solution, but if you want to type out your solution, it's easier for you to get that nice and neat and organized for someone else to look at, then that's acceptable as well. So now I want to go over our project milestones and our due dates. So we've already completed back at the beginning of March, the first milestone where you guys formed your teams and submitted a list of the team members through Blackboard, and I've created individual groups for you for Blackboard. So now this week within our Module 12, we're moving on to our second milestone here. This is where you submit your group problems and your solutions. So hopefully, since you guys have formed your teams a little over a month ago, you guys have been working hard on these problems together, and now you're going to be turning those in along with your solution via a Blackboard assignment. So now once I have these, what's going to happen is we're going to distribute these to the other teams. So not only are you going to turn them into me, but you're also going to turn them into the other teams, and we'll go over the correlation between which team you're giving your problem to and which teams you're solving. And then from there, what's going to happen is on the 29th, you're then going to submit your solutions back to the team that created them, and they're going to grade that for you. And then finally, the last part, the last milestone we're looking at here is on Thursday, May 6th, and this is where you're going to give your virtual presentations, your pre-recorded video of you going through your solution to the problem. This will be turned in through Blackboard as well. So now a reminder for these group projects, well, this is going to be the evaluation criteria. So your problem, your solution you're handing in to me this week is worth 25% of that grade. So then you'll be grading the other group solution to your problem on that same 10-point criteria that we've used before, and this is also going to count as 25% of the grade as well of how you do as graded by the other groups. And last 50% of it is going to be based upon your presentation of your solution, that pre-recorded video that you're going to be submitting to Blackboard going through your solution to your problem. So now as you're grading the other group's solution to your problem, I want you to go through using the same grading criteria that has been used for the homeworks and exams that you've turned in this semester. So we're going to use the same 10-point scale. We give 2 points for the format. Did they provide their name, the name of their group, the givens, the finds, the appropriate coordinate system, any labels that are necessary? Is it neat? How easy is it for you to follow through their work? And then 4 points for the correct method, approach, governing equations. And last, 2 points, did they get the answer correct? So I know we've gone through this before previously in the semester, but I want to go through this again as we're approaching the end of the semester now. So at the beginning of the semester, you're going to end up solving every group's problems. We modified that quickly because we saw there's a large number of teams. We have 9 different teams for this semester here for the group projects. So I decided to modify the format slightly back then in the interest of time and workload requirements to complete the projects. So each team will still create the same one problem as we previously talked about at the beginning of the semester, along with their detailed solution to that problem. And that's what's due this week that you're going to be turning in through Blackboard. And then from there, the modification is now you only need to solve one other team's problem and not every other team's problem. So that's going to reduce down that workload again, as we mentioned a little over a month ago. So we'll see the assignment organizations on the next page to see which group's problems you're solving, which group problems you're grading. So each group will solve one other group's problems and submit their work to that team that created the problem to be graded by that group. Now you can do this the same way we've done our homeworks. What you can do is you can just scan in your solution to their problem and then email it to one of the members of that group. So the teams will submit the graded copy of each team's solution to that problem to me, and then I'll update the grades on Blackboard. So just a reminder, these are the 9 different teams that we can see here. We have Team UVM, Team Yellow, the Fantastic Four, Mechanics Madness, Torsion Loads, Team Squidward, Alpha, Everything, and the Leftovers. So these are the 9 teams. So again, we're going to be just giving one other group your problem to solve. So I'm going to go through that next and how that organization goes. So here is the assignment organization. So Team UVM gives their problem to Team Yellow. Team Yellow then solves this and turns it back into Team UVM for a grade. And then Team Yellow gives their problem to Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four solves this and turns it in for Team Yellow to grade. Fantastic Four gives their problem to the Mechanics Madness, and Mechanics Madness solves this and turns it back into Fantastic Four to grade. Now Mechanics Madness gives their problem that they created to the Torsion Loads. Torsion Loads solves this and turns it back in to the Mechanics Madness to grade. The Torsion Loads gives their problem to Team Squidward. Team Squidward solves this and turns it back into torsion load to grade. Then we'll have that Team Squidward gives the problem they created to Alpha. Team Alpha solves this and turns it back into Team Squidward to grade. Alpha gives their problem to Everything. Everything solves this and turns it back into Alpha to grade. And Everything gives the problem they created to the Leftovers. Leftovers solves this and turns it back into Everything to grade. And finally, the Leftovers gives their problem to Team UVM, back up there again, and Team UVM solves this and turns it into the Leftovers to grade. So this is the assignment organization of who you're going to be whose problem you're going to be solving, who you're turning it into.